Hello internet and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions, the channel where we tiptoe over the realm of impossibility and toe the line of the conceivable. As always, I'll be your host Jack Finch as we delve into the depths of the O5 archives and ask the question, what if SCP-2000 was real? Before we begin, you all know the drill by now. If you'd be so kind as to hit that subscribe bell conveniently floating below so you can stay up to date with our latest and most paranormally apt uploads. Also, if you're a fan of this video or just LBQ in general, then why don't you go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your most treasured individuals. Now, the archives of the Foundation are an oftentimes bleak place. As a level 4 researcher plumbing the depths of the darkest, most bizarre arenas of amorphous anomalies from SCP-106 to 096 and 4000, sometimes it can get you pretty deep down in the dumps. Well, wouldn't it be great to have a great big reset button? Wouldn't it be great to just start again? Well, kind of, I guess. Let me introduce you to the most useful and seemingly non-ominous SCP of them all, SCP-2000. This entity is a level 4 thermial class anomalous object that essentially is a hard reboot for the human race should we ever experience a ZK class catastrophic event, which, according to the archive report, has already happened twice. The entrance to SCP-2000 is disguised as a disused park ranger station in Yellowstone National Park and has one of the strictest security levels of any containment in the Foundation. No personnel below level 4-2000 are even allowed access to documentation that refers to the entity. No one below level 5 are allowed access to the site. So incredibly restricted is SCP-2000 that only cleared level 6-2000 maintenance technicians are allowed access to even work on certain parts of the site, and then after their task is complete they are reassigned and submitted to amnestic therapy immediately. Not a punishment, claims the Foundation, but a legitimate safety concern where everyone's the better off. Well, what's all of this kerfuffle for anyway? What exactly is it? I'll tell you. SCP-2000 is a subterranean Foundation installation originally constructed sometime in the last redacted years. Through the use of a pseudo-Riemannian manifold, the underground structure utilizes tangent space, providing 10 kilometers squared of workable floor space to house 500,000 bright Zartonian hominoid replicators that can produce 100,000 viable non-anomalous humans per day. Sound confusing? That's because it is, and I'll go to no lengths to try and assume I understand the incredibly complicated hypothetical science behind this, but essentially it's a factory that makes people, millions of them. And throughout a complex series of protocols, if the world ends in a hail of hellfire, the Foundation can assure that the human race can hit that reset button and no one will be any wiser. Great stuff. But let's don our hypothetical caps for a moment. How would our trajectory as a species be altered if we had a construct like that in our power? Philosophically speaking, how would we deal with such a shared safety blanket? Economically speaking, would the world grind to a halt if everyone felt that progress was irrelevant? What are we saving ourselves from if not the abyss? Would productivity grind to a halt? Would we just sit back and watch the world burn? Let's run one scenario, a very real scenario in some cases, a total nuclear apocalypse. Currently, as we speak, the doomsday clock is set to 2 minutes to midnight. That's the closest it's ever been in history, bar 1953, which had the same reading, which in layman's terms means that we're under some heavy pressure from the looming threats of nuclear war and climate change. Yikes. Well, say we did succumb to nuclear annihilation. Say all the world leaders across the planet tried to double bluff each other and be the first person to have the bollocks to hit that big red button. Boom, dead, and 15 years later, the last human alive succumbs to the harsh reality of a nuclear winter, and our very brief time in this incredibly old universe comes to an end. But it's fine, because as that last human takes their breath, the SCP Foundation have already triggered the Ganymede Protocol and the factory whirs into life, and we forget the whole thing ever happened. Would there ever really be a point of going to nuclear war? Wouldn't the despots and dictators of planet Earth just save everyone the hassle of atomic rearrangement, eventually leading to nuclear disarmament and world peace? Would the existence of SCP-2000 save mankind in more ways than one? Well, yeah, in all likelihood. Knowledge of a giant underground machine that preserves existence indefinitely would be the biggest deterrent to any global conflict, although we've got to take into consideration the nihilists and the death cults, of course. Although a small threat, SCP-2000 would be at a constantly constantly consistent threat level from organized worshippers of death. Nihilism, the rejection of all moral principles, often in the belief that life is meaningless. In all likelihood, the emergence of an organized group of these people would be a very real scenario. As we know, people like to be anti, so when life itself is mainstream, you get anti-life. Their ultimate goal being the destruction and dismantling of SCP-2000. On the flip side, it could potentially allow us the freedom to take risks that we wouldn't otherwise be able to take. Nuclear fusion needed testing at the risk of consuming the world in a portion of quantum entanglement? No problem, just hit that Ganymede protocol before you do anything stupid. The AI singularity about to hit its peak and the world is at risk of being destroyed by sentient nanobots? No problem, see how it goes, make sure the Ganymede protocol is running while you're at it. Well, it'd be an interesting time to be alive, to say the least, because we'd have no idea how many times the world had been saved from the brink of self-extinction. Maybe it's already happened dozens of times before, who knows? Well, let us know what you think in the comment box down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button and share this video with your most cherished loved ones. If you'd like to continue your questioning binge, feel free to hit that playlist floating shortly above. As always, you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. I've been your host, Jack Finch, and until next time, remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question.